Welcome to the DAZN Boxing Show presented by AutoZone. I'm Chris Mannix. He is the aging Latin snake, Sergio Mora. And Sergio, I'm going to get to why I brought up your age in just a couple of minutes, but I do want to start the show talking about the big fight that we have on Saturday, a true crossroads fight at 147 pounds. Alexis Rocha, a guy that's been on the welterweight scene for some time now, he takes on Raul Curiel, Freddie Roach trained, talented, heavy-handed kid, 13 wins by knockout out of his 15 overall. I don't see any way that this isn't a tremendous fight. Both these guys have exciting styles. Both these guys have power. What kind of fight are you expecting?
First of all, Chris Mannix, we're the same age, and you're always that guy with a shirt when you're near a pool. So don't talk to me about aging gracefully, all right? And I love Alexis Rocha, man. I love the fact he bounces back right after tough losses. I mean, that Giovanni Santillan loss, it doesn't get more physical than that. That was a beatdown Santillan put on him. And normally fighters want to come back with some soft touches. Usually promoters give up on them. Not in this case, man, because Rocha is a popular Southern California fighter. He was willing to come back against a winner with guys with winning records and fight another undefeated opponent. Promoter's dream, fan-friendly, and Rocha still hasn't lost that confidence. I love the fact that he's bouncing back with Curiel. Curiel's going to go for the knockout. Curiel's a big, strong, young fighter, determined. He wants to make a name for himself. Golden Boy is pushing him. Rocha is still getting pushed by Golden Boy. So this is a type of fight where I'm going to like experience over the young. Well, actually, he is the younger fighter, but I'm going to like the experience of Rocha over Curiel. Even though he has Freddie Roach in his corner, Curiel, I'm still going to go with the experience of Rocha on this one.
Yeah, I love how Alexis Rocha has continued to dust himself off, get back into the mix, pick up some wins, and put himself right back into that world title picture. The Rashidi Ellis loss was tough. He got outboxed in that fight. The Santillan loss, though, was much tougher. I mean, that wasn't so much a loss, but a beating. Like, he went down 3 times in that fight and took the worst punishment of his professional boxing career, to the point where afterwards I did wonder exactly how he would be able to bounce back from that. But he did. Picked up 2 wins in a row, quality opponents, and now he's right here, ranked once again in the top 10, with a chance to put himself in that title picture with one more win. This fight, to me, Sergio, is about the style. I think if Alexis Rocha can box more in this fight, I think he can outbox Raul Curiel. I think he's got a little bit more skill at this stage than Curiel has. And look, Alexis even acknowledged that after the Santillan fight, that he can't just go out there and rumble. Like, he can't win every fight that way. He does have that kind of instinct to do that when the going gets tough, to mix it up. But I do think he learned something from that Santillan fight, that not every fight needs to devolve into a street fight. That's the kind of fight that Curiel wants. Like, Curiel is heavy-handed. He goes upstairs, downstairs, great punch variance. He gets good power on the end of his punches. Got a really long frame that allows him to really have some power in the middle of the ring. I just think if this turns into a rumble, then it's going to be much better for Raul Curiel than it is for Alexis Rocha.
Not necessarily, but I think in the long run, maybe. I mean, if it goes into the second half of the fight, yes. But I'm looking at Curiel's resume, and I don't see no southpaws. Rocha is an excellent southpaw who can box, like you said. He can be on the back foot jabbing, which is what his trainer, Hector Lopez, always tries to beat in his head. What are you doing? Why are you mixing it up so early? Because that's what Rocha is. He's a boxer, but he's a puncher at heart as well. I think with this kid, with Curiel, he's going to have to be a little bit of both, but more of a boxer. And, considering the fact that this is pretty much a make or break, if he wants to get on the championship level and back to his winning ways, he's going to have to box. I'm not saying he's not going to mix it up, but he's going to have to box. It's going to be up to Curiel to negate that and get him into a brawl, get him into a fight, get him the macho on macho. If Rocha's dumb enough to fall for that, then he might get beat up. But if he's smart, I see him winning the decision.
I think there are some unknowns too about Curiel. I mean, we kind of know who Alexis Rocha is. He has shown that he is a B+ kind of guy at this stage, certainly with the ceiling to improve on that, to get to that A- type of level. But we kind of know what he is based on what we've seen. We have not seen Raul Curiel in with an opponent the caliber of Alexis Rocha. He does have some decent wins. He knocked out your favorite fighter, Brad Solomon, a few fights ago. And he has shown that he's got a lot of potential. But I am curious to see, how that potential manifests itself in a fight like this. How does Curiel perform if Alexis Rocha gets him into trouble? How does he perform in the later rounds of this fight? We saw him in against Pennington a couple of fights ago, and he had to go close to the distance in that fight. Had some trouble getting a sturdy, strong guy out of there. So I think that we're going to learn a lot about Raul Curiel in this fight. That's for sure. Okay. I mentioned your age and the fact that you are an older, retired fighter.
There's another.
No, you're technically a year older than me right now. So I mentioned the age. Vladimir Klitschko, the former heavyweight champion, is reportedly interested in a comeback fight for a world title. This is according to Frank Warren, who commented about this. Tom Loeffler, Vladimir's former promoter, did not close the door when he was asked about this. Sergio, we haven't seen Vladimir Klitschko in a ring since 2017. That was when he got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. He has been around. He has been a vocal advocate for Ukraine, his home country, embroiled in a war with Russia right now. We saw him at the last Usyk Fury fight. Looks like he's in great shape, but he is 48 years old. Sergio, what do you think of Vladimir Klitschko making a comeback either against Daniel Dubois or Tyson Fury?
Well, he's 48 and he's going to be 49 early next year, but I don't like neither of those fights. But here's the thing. I can make a case for why he can come back. Yes, his last fight was 2017. Yes, he's almost going to be 49 years old, but he's not a combination puncher. He's a strict behind the jab, just following, he wants to set up that big steel hammer of his. That doesn't take a lot of legs, a lot of conditioning. It's kind of like George Foreman when he came back in his 40s. That's exactly the type of fight it's going to be with Klitschko. He can be losing rounds. We could be sticking that jab, just waiting to drop that hammer. And if that hammer lands, especially against guys that have been stopped before, like a Joshua, like a Dubois, or a Fury as well now, I could see it happening. But I don't want to see it happening. I'm tired of these guys, these old legends, these Hall of Famers coming back to tarnish their legacy and their career. It's not like he's in need of money. It's not like he wants, like, he has delusions of grandeur. It's just why they get talked back into this. I don't like it. I don't like his team doing it. His brother needs to knock some sense to it. Personally, I don't want to see him come back, Chris Mannix. He's a legend. Stay a legend.
Well, delusions of grandeur is an interesting phrase to use because there is a reason for him to come back. It is so he could make some history, right? Like currently George Foreman is the oldest man to win a heavyweight title. If Vladimir Klitschko could do it, he would become the oldest man to win a title. That would really be a feather in the cap of a guy that was one of the great heavyweights of this generation. Now, can he win? I don't know. It's going to be hard. I do think that the 2017 version of Vladimir could have beaten Daniel Dubois, would have fared well, I think, against this version of Tyson Fury. But I just don't know what Vladimir's lost over the last 7 years. Yes, he looks like he's in great shape, but I'm guessing he hasn't done a lot of sparring, hasn't done a lot of boxing, hasn't thought much about boxing over the last 5 or 6 years. And, even though I do agree with you that he's not kind of a jittery puncher, he doesn't rely on a heavy dose of skills, more than just jab, right hand. That's what Emmanuel Stewart kind of drilled into him over the years. I think it would be tough. I think he's got a good chin, especially when he's operating behind that jab, but 48 years old, off for a long time. It's a stretch to think he could beat a young fighter like Dubois, who is just coming into his own, or even a guy like Fury, who didn't beat down Vladimir. He just frustrated him just by throwing simple jabs and moving around the ring. I think we'd probably see a lot of the same things if they ever fought in a rematch. So I'm with you. I think Vladimir, who has nothing left to prove, he's one of the all-time great heavyweights, arguably the best heavyweight of his generation, which came really after Lennox Lewis walked away. I think what was retired should probably stay retired, and Vladimir should enjoy that part of his life. I think you should stay retired too, just to be, in case there's any doubt about that.
No, man, I'm still waiting for that last final YouTube payday, Chris Mannix.